Okay, guys, here we go. So today we're going to look at the conditional, and I want to go in order, right? So this is my plan. What I want to do is check the zero conditional today. Then I want to do the first, second, third, mixed conditionals, then alternatives, advanced conditional structures, and inversion in conditionals. If you're really confident with conditionals, I still think this class is going to be useful for you because it does have, I oriented it towards C1 students, and I put some more advanced notes at the end. I put some examples of how you can use the zero conditional in your writing for an exam, and also some speaking examples of how you can use your zero conditional in an advanced speaking exam. So I hope it's going to be interesting for everyone. So let's drive on. For exams, I advise spending more time practicing mixed conditionals than most books do because Cambridge absolutely loves them. So now, I think it's easier to remember meanings better than numbers. Numbers or formulas. Maybe I will change this one. And Cambridge increasingly tests meaning rather than labels. Personally, hello. Hey, Mr. Foster. Personally, when I'm learning conditionals in another language, I memorize one example for each, something that has meaning for me and it's true for me. And then when I'm in doubt, I use this example to check my grammar rather than trying to remember a formula. So, for example, what do I want to say here? The second conditional. It's very difficult for people to remember, isn't it? So I have an example. Hey, second conditional. Instead of memorizing the formula, which is past simple plus would plus infinitive, instead of trying to remember this, I remember one example of this conditional, and mine is always the same. If I won the lotto or lottery, I would buy a farm. This is true for me. This is what I would do, literally. If I won the lottery, I would buy a farm. So it's easy for me to remember this sentence because it has meaning for me. When I can't remember the formula for the second conditional, I simply remember my sentence. And then I can remember that the second condition is the past simple with would and infinitive. And I find that really useful. So I tend to do that with all of the conditionals. And that's how I remember the conditional formula. Instead of trying to remember second conditional, past simple, comma, would infinitive. For me, it's easier to remember a sentence. Hello, Cassia. How's it going? Here we go. Zero conditional. So the zero conditional describes situations that are always true. Hello, Guerrera. Thank you for telling me. Okay, so for me, it is centered, but let's see if I can do a bit better. Give me a sec. Right. Give me a sec. Now, tell me how that is. Is that better? I'll give you a sec now to reply. Is that better? Hello, Alina. It wasn't necessary that much. Okay. I can... What about this? How's that? It's okay? Awesome. Cool. Great. So the zero conditional describes situations that are always true. Okay, you're so welcome. Thank you for telling me. We use it to talk about facts, scientific principles, general truths, routines, and instructions. Unlike the other conditionals, it does not refer to a particular moment in the past, present, or future. Now that's really, really important. Unlike the other conditionals, it does not refer to a particular moment in the past, present, or future. Okay? Really important for the zero. Instead, it describes a relationship that is consistently true whenever the condition is met. So whenever this happens, this is true. It's not like tomorrow if this happens, this will happen. Or later if this happens, this will happen. Speaking of later, Greta, I'm preparing for you a TikTok with later and later on. I have it prepared, but I need to record it. I didn't have time. I had time today to prepare it, but I didn't have time to record it, so I will do it later. So the structure is if plus past plus present simple, right? If plus present simple, comma, present simple, for example. And I would recommend memorizing memorizing this one. This is a typical one, you know. If water reaches 100 degrees, it boils. So we have present simple. Don't forget the ES or the S because it is third person with the present simple. Awesome. That's cool. And here we have, because it's the third person, it's water, we have to put the S. That's kind of a thing that a lot of people continue to forget, right? So this is not like later, if water should reach 100 degrees, it will boil or it boils. No, this is always happens. If the condition on the left is met, the result on the right will happen. Yes or yes, as we say in Spanish. Another one, if employees fail to comply with the company's security policy, they face disciplinary action. If consumers lose confidence in the economy, businesses often reduce investment. So you have here present simple, comma, present simple, and present simple. So I mean, really, it's one of the easier conditionals. Now, you guys know I only speak Spanish, but I can tell you from Spanish to English with the zero conditional, it's basically the exact same. So that's quite useful, you know, to know. In each example, the result is not a prediction. It's not, I think, or maybe this will happen. No. Okay, it's not a prediction or a possibility. It is presented as a fact or something that normally happens. Okay, this is the zero. Notice that if can appear at the beginning or in the middle of the sentence. The difference is punctuation. I'm going to add this actually. The difference is punctuation. We were speaking about on Tuesday. Now, I would like to put this rather. I would like to put this down below. It should be here for you guys. Yes. Okay. If the proposal satisfies all the funding criteria, it receives immediate approval. So we have satisfies, present simple, receives, present simple, and it begins with if, so the comma goes in the middle. Okay? The proposal receives, or now, the opposite way around. We put the result first and then the condition. The proposal receives immediate approval if it satisfies all the funding criteria. Now look at this. Both sentences are correct. No problem. Same, da igual. However, when the if clause comes first, it is followed by a comma. So if you start your conditional with if, you need to use a comma. If you put it in reverse and you have the condition first, the result first, and then the condition, the if in the middle, you don't need to put a comma. Okay? So this applies to all of the conditionals. If it's if first, you must put the comma in the middle. If is in the middle, you don't need to put a comma in the middle. Okay, that's important. The zero conditional is frequently used in academic writing. I'm going to show you examples of this at the end, okay? I have one for proposal, report, essay, formal letter. I put them in some contexts so you can see. Formal reports, scientific explanations, instructions, and business English, because it expresses objective relationships, okay? The zero conditional expresses objective relationships. So let's compare. If people exercise regularly, hope you can see that clearly enough now, no? Maybe the colors sometimes of the highlighter are maybe not that great. I'm here. So if people exercise regularly, they generally enjoy better physical health. If people exercise regularly, comma, they generally enjoy better physical health. This is a general truth, okay? If people exercise, now this is different. If people exercised regularly, they would enjoy better physical health. That's a second conditional, okay? This is a second conditional because it expresses a hypothetical situation rather than a fact. Hello, Jam Jar. I'm a native English speaker and I'm pretty good with vocab and spag, but two things I'm bad at. Okay. I'm sorry now. What is spag, Jam Jar? I'm lost with that now. I don't know that acronym. Are you bilingual or native speaker? Spaghetti. As long as it's not hemorrhoids or somebody looking for Carla, I think we're okay. Spag is spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that actually. What was I going to say? Yeah, are you bilingual or I'm native, but I'm bad at using commas. Yeah, you're bad at using commas. Well, there's one tip for you, and we're planning a punctuation class. Okay. And yeah, I'm native. Yeah, I'm a native. You can say I'm native, like the adjective Guerrera, or you can say I'm a native. Hello, Eleanor. What's your native language? Are you speaking to me or are you speaking to Jam? I'm not sure. I have two native languages, technically. Me, what do you think? What do you think my native language is? Jam, you're native English, awesome. Do you speak any other language, Jam? Out of curiosity. Gaelic, you're Irish. Yeah? Okay, Connors thought too. You kind of sound Irish. Eleanor, you got it. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I'm Irish. Well done. So, one common mistake. No, I'm guessing your native language. Oh, Gaelic. Oh, yeah, okay. Jamja, yeah, you're right. We have two. In our constitution, we have two native languages, English and Irish. So technically we have two. One common mistake is using will after if. So incorrect. If the temperature will fall below 0, water freezes. So this is absolutely not correct. Okay? Absolutely not correct. It would be if the temperature falls below 0, water freezes. Not if the temperature will fall. If the temperature falls below 0, the water... False alarm. Remember that the zero conditional describes what always happens, not what will happen on one particular occasion. Okay? Thank you, Guerrera. Almost Jesus, but not yet. Jesus has gone hiding. For Cambridge exams, ask yourself one question. So, is this a general truth, a routine, or a fact? I'm not from the Gaeltacht, unfortunately, but I love the Gaeltacht. I'm from Cork. Yeah, I'm going to an area near the Gaeltacht on Saturday. Forensics! Where have you been? Forensics, we haven't seen you in weeks. I was going to send you a message because you fell off the side of the planet or whatever. This is your condition. Where have you been? You disappeared and you abandoned us here. We didn't know where you were. I found the Gaeltacht the other day. I found out about the Gaeltacht the other day. Oh yeah, I know what happened. Is everything okay? Yeah, the Gaeltacht is an awesome place. Guys, if you don't know, the Gaeltacht is a region in Ireland where people still speak Irish. There are still native speakers of Irish. It's like on the west coast of Ireland. That's what Jam is referring to. The Gaeltacht. Really, really nice place. Really nice area of Ireland. And they still speak Irish. That's why he's asking me. Me too, Jam. Love Galway. Love the whole west coast of Ireland. I don't understand why people go to Dublin. I don't understand. I don't understand why people go to the east coast of Ireland when you could go to the west coast of Ireland. For me, the West Coast is like 100 times better than the East Coast. George Sand, how's it going? Everything okay? Not to correct you about your homeland, but I think the Gaeltacht is in different parts of Ireland. I think you're wrong. There we go. But prove me wrong. I love being proved wrong. These guys are always proving me wrong with English here, so I'm new, but I like how this community seems to be super friendly and close. Yeah, everybody is. We are getting there. Like Donegal is part of it, but Donegal is in the west of Ireland. Google a map of the Gaeltacht and you'll see what part of Ireland is considered the Gaeltacht. I would do it now, but I need to continue with our topic. My God, I've gotten too passionate about the Gaeltacht now. I mean, you've obviously hit a nerve, Jam. Look, Gaeltacht. I bet you €5 that it's the west of Ireland, eh? Look, this is the Gaeltacht. Can you see? The west of Ireland. This is the Gaeltacht. This is, unfortunately, it's like getting smaller and smaller, unfortunately. But yeah, generally the west of Ireland. The part that's furthest away from England. Oh, now I'm going to say something really bad. And in some parts of Wales, right? No, not in Wales, unfortunately. They don't speak Irish in Wales. Mr. Foster, no. Invite Jamjar to speak about it so we'll have a listening class. Yeah, okay, he can. Jam, if you want to, we can have a listening class. That would be good. Oh, you're mostly right. Not contagious land. And a few little pockets in the south and middle. Donegal, giant coastway. Yeah, it is, JC, exactly. Yeah. You're contiguous? Contagious? Not contagious? Land? Continuous? Maybe? Oh, I know what you mean. Okay, you mean that it was like it's a bit spotty. This is the last thing that I'm going to address now. I can't help myself. Look. The deterioration of the Irish language. Okay, I guess this could come up in an exam. Look, guys, this is what I always show to my students. But it's so sad. This is so sad. Look. This was when England originally invaded Ireland. Look, this was where we spoke Irish. This is in 1800s. And then look, 1850. 1850 was the Great Irish Famine. If you guys don't know about the famine, you should know, okay? This is 1850. Look, you can see the green part is where we spoke Irish and the white is English, coming from England. Then look, you have 1900, so sad. And you have 2000. Okay? Irish speakers. It's so sad. I mean, I don't want to be dramatic, but we do consider this a genocide. You know? So you know about the famine? Yeah. So it's really, really sad. Ireland is a small country. Obviously, we're very few people. But relative to our size, we were exterminated. And our language and our culture was almost exterminated intentionally, you know? So it's very complicated. Exactly, Jam. That's why a lot of us had to go to America on the Titanic. If you guys don't know, the Titanic left from Cork. That was its final stop before it embarked on its maiden voyage to America, was my hometown. So there's a museum, a beautiful, awesome museum about the potato famine in the location in Cove where the Titanic left. So yeah, that's why yesterday I watched the football match with my mother, and it was Argentina against England. And literally, like, the whole country of Ireland, we just hoped that Argentina would beat England. Not because we wanted Argentina to win, but because we wanted somebody to beat the English. It's so bad. We should let these things go. But, you know, it's in my DNA. Belfast, big crane still standing. I think so, JC, yeah. You understand? Yeah. So it's pretty tricky. It's a complicated situation, you know. And some English people have said to me, because, you know, over the years, I have worked with a lot of English people, obviously, because I'm an English teacher. And if we complain about the English, they say, you are making a living teaching English. Oh my God. Well, so yeah. So it's a tricky. You derailed my lesson. It's okay, Jam. It's okay. Because it's all about like culture. Language is culture, after all, right? Language is culture. So you need to, many times, to understand language, you need to know something about the culture. That game was gutting. Gutting? Forensics? Gutting? Oh, sorry, forensics, because the kids are in England, right? Yeah, the kids are in England. In Liverpool, right? I think. Only because English was exported as a colonial tool centuries ago and is now a business language. I know, Jam. I mean, it's very tricky, you know? It's a very tricky situation. Irish is not sure where can I place, but English people. I know, JC. It's true. It's true. This is karma, okay? Right. They're in London. They're in London. That's right. They're in London. They're in London. It's true. It's true. It's true. They were probably disappointed. They're probably disappointed. Okay. So, for Cambridge exams, yeah, ask yourself, if the answer is yes, if it's a general truth, a routine, or a fact, the zero conditional is almost certainly the correct choice. Okay. Guerrero, why are you laughing? Because we got totally derailed. Las Malvinas son Argentinas. Oh my God. Should not have brought up football. Yeah. I've got some totally crazy stories as well. Maybe I'll tell you one at the end. It's totally crazy, but I'll leave it to the end. Okay, because Guerrero is laughing, and that means that we are getting derailed from the point. So, it's karma. Okay, the karma thing. Okay. Yeah. I agree, Jamja. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's good. Yeah, they're good people. When you travel, you meet good people. Yeah. But it's nice. It's nice. Irish people, I think they're open to being friends and to speaking to everybody. It's nice. And other people, Spanish people are also really friendly and kind, and South American people, Mexican people, like okay, if you speak Spanish, generally they're really really nice. I've met some awesome people traveling. So C1 points, yeah, I put this in for you guys, right? So I thought that you might ask me this question, like, can the zero conditional be mixed? Okay, so the answer is not normally. So generally, like, no. I would say, can they be mixed? No. Okay. Okay. The zero conditional is not normally used in mixed conditionals. Mixed conditionals almost always combine second and third conditionals. However, a zero conditional can sometimes appear alongside another conditional because it expresses a general truth, not a hypothetical situation. And I put an example here just so you could see how you would use it. Look. If you hadn't ignored the safety structures, this is 3. You wouldn't be injured now. This is the second. And then, because machinery causes serious injuries if people use it improperly. So you can see here I put at the end the 0, but really it's not part of my main conditional. My main mixed conditional here is 3 and 2. And then after I said because, and I put the 0. Okay. This is not a pie. It couldn't mixed. George San, I don't get it. What do you mean? It's not a pie. Like to eat. I don't get that one now. I'm trying to get what you mean by that, and I don't get it. You can send me another explanatory message about the pie. Okay, here, if you hadn't ignored, you wouldn't be ignored now is a mixed conditional, third to second. The final clause, if people use it improperly, is a zero conditional stating a general fact. So it's not part of the mixed conditional itself. Okay? Now, so that's that. That's one question I wanted to answer. I thought maybe you would think, okay, can I use this in a mixed conditional? No, generally you can't, right? Next one, next topic for C1 students. I was thinking, so alternatives. So what alternatives? We have already studied these guys. It's in a video. If you haven't seen it, it's in a video from on YouTube from a few weeks ago. But you can use these some alternatives instead of if in the zero conditional. So I wanted to go through those. Hello, Tudo. Hello from Brazil. What part of Brazil? My last student was from Brazil, eh? My last student was from Brazil. So the zero conditional can be used with unless. Salvador, nice. Okay. It can be used with unless, provided, or provided that, and as long as, because these expressions also describe general truths. So with these three, we can use the zero conditional. For example, unless employees wear protective equipment, they put themselves at unnecessary risk. Guys, you can look at this one. Look, for our phrasal verb fans, put at risk. Really, really nice. Lovely one. Unless employees wear protective equipment, they put themselves at unnecessary risk. First conditional using zero conditional using unless. Next example, unless you enter the correct password, the system denies access. Unless you enter the correct password, the system denies access. Zero conditional with unless, okay? Now, provided that examples. This is like only if. Research findings remain valid, provided that the methodology is rigorous. Okay, provided that the methodology is rigorous. So we can use provided that instead of if, and it's a zero conditional. SSS, it has many meanings. If has many meanings, you can't use those if the phrase is, if my mother catches me, she'll ground me. You could use unless with that sentence. You could say, my mother won't ground me unless she catches me. My mother won't ground me unless she catches me. And as long as, my mother won't ground me as long as she doesn't catch me. So yes, you could. Okay. When, yeah, for sure you can use when, JC, exactly. Yeah, you could. Research findings remain valid when the methodology is rigorous. You could use when, absolutely. Let's include that one, it's a good one. I didn't mention that. Every time. With every time. My mother grounds me every time she catches me. Yes, you could. Good job, eh? Well done. Every time and whenever. My mother grounds me whenever she catches me. Well done. Nice. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Yeah, they're not in on my list. Nice one. That's so cool. Okay, so unless provided that. Students may borrow library books provided that they return them on time. Okay? Next one, as long as, only if. So plants thrive as long as they receive sufficient sunlight. Guys, everybody know thrive? For B2, you should definitely know that word. It means like prosper. The software functions correctly as long as users install the latest updates. Hey, Alvin! How's it going? If I were in London, we could have been at the party together. Mixed conditional. It's not mixed. That is the... If I were in London, we could have... It is true. You've used the second with the third. Good job, forensics. Yes. You'd probably say, if I were in London, we could have gone to the party together, or we could have been at the party at that party together. Yeah, second and third. You got it. I'm sneaking on quickly in my uni break time. Yeah, awesome, Alvin. That's cool. That's awesome. Okay, next one. In case, in case is different. Okay, so here we go. It does not normally introduce a zero conditional because it expresses a precaution and not a general truth. So that's one that we can't use here in the zero. Compare. If the temperature falls below zero, water freezes. Zero conditional. Unless the temperature rises above 0, the lake remains frozen, 0 conditional. And here, the organizer reserves extra seating in case attendance exceeds expectations. This is a precaution. It's not the 0 conditional. Okay? That's awesome, Alvin. Yeah, it'll be on YouTube. I'm up to date now with YouTube. I just put up the one from 2 days ago. Or was it? Yeah, 2 days ago. I put it up just today. So I'll try to keep everything on YouTube in case anybody misses or whatever. Oh, Sarine, you're so welcome. Thanks for coming. So here we go. Summary: unless can introduce a 0 conditional because it expresses a negative condition. Provided that can introduce a 0 conditional because it expresses a positive condition. As long as can introduce a 0 conditional because it also expresses a positive condition, but in case does not normally introduce a 0 conditional because it expresses preparation for a possible event rather than a general truth. So that's kind of the one exception there from the ones that I've done. Okay, that's that part. Number 10. Guys, I think I need to open this door because it's super warm in the room. There's no air conditioning here. It's just funny. The temperature is lower, but it's hotter because I don't have my air conditioning. Number 10, so advanced conditional structures. So I've got for you, should you need, were I to, inversion, remember we studied those? Had I known. If it weren't for, but for, otherwise, we saw otherwise, it's more B2. Supposing, love supposing, suppose, on condition that, and provided that. Okay? Forensics, if you turn up late, your boss won't be happy. Excellent, good job. If you touch it first, yeah, well done. Thanks, JC. Happy to have you here. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so some advanced conditional structures can express the same meaning as the 0 conditional, while others cannot. So this is kind of what we are interested in for you guys. It's something you can sink your teeth into, because obviously when we hear the first 0 conditional, it's like, oh my God, you're going back many, many years when you started learning English for the first time, you know. But there are very advanced ways to include this, okay, at a high level. Shall you have any questions? I don't think you can use shall in this case, eh? Shall, like S-H-A-L-L? Mr. Foster? Shall, I would say like, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, or don't hesitate to contact me. Yes, some of them are JC, they're inversions, exactly, yeah. We have a few classes on YouTube now with inversions. We didn't really like that topic, did we, guys? Not so much, but I think the participles were worse. Shall you have any questions? For some reason now, I don't think we can say shall you have any questions instead of if. No, it would have to be if you have any questions. Feel free to contact me. We can't use shall there. Shall is more like when you're offering something, like shall I open the window? Shall I help you with that? We use shall if the chance of contact is really low. Or whether, yes, you can use instead of if. Mr. Foster, we need to speak about shall, because I don't think that sounds right to me now. You can't use like instead of if. Can you think of another example? Like I would never start a condition with shall. I would say, shall I help you? Shall I open the window? Shall I make you a sandwich? Only shall I? No, because you can't use it with you. You can't say shall you. This is the problem. You can't say shall you. It's only shall I. Shall they? No, I think shall is normally with I, but we need to go into shall. Instead of shall, we use should. Yeah, you can use should there. Should you have any questions? Absolutely. You can say, should you have any questions? That one, yes. Thank you, Guerrera. That's awesome. That's a really good question. I need to add that to the notes for stuff. Yeah, you're a star. Okay, and it's a really good question, honestly. Now, okay, can express general truths, rules, or conditions. So unless employees follow the safety guidelines, accidents become more likely. Yes, should. Yeah, that's it. Provided that students receive a certificate, provided that they complete all the required assessments, as long as plants grow successfully, as long as they receive sufficient sunlight. On condition that access is permitted, on condition that visitors wear protective equipment. JC, we don't use shall to form a conditional, let alone in inversion. I like how you use let alone there. Good one. If I go, shall I pay? Should I pay? I need more context for that one, Guerrera. JC, you obviously know your stuff, eh? I appreciate the contribution a lot. If I go, shall I pay? Do you mean like if you're in a restaurant and you're leaving your friends at the restaurant or something? Shall I pay? It's just a bit funny because normally Irish people, like, we fight over who's going to pay. If you say to your friend, shall I pay? They'll definitely say no, you know? Okay. JC, I'm loving your participation as well. These guys always make me think, so welcome to the club. I normally finish and I'm like, oh my God, I need to study this and I need to search that. In general, I didn't think of any specific context. Okay. Like shall I go or shall I stay? If I was in a restaurant and if I was in a restaurant and there were three of us, no, and it's my friend's birthday, and my friend goes to the toilet, and the two of us have already agreed that we're going to pay, you could say, shall we pay now while she's in the toilet? Shall we pay? Shall I pay while she's in the toilet? You know, asking your friend, and maybe your friend will say, yeah, go. I can think of it in that situation. And the same with kind of like, should I pay? If somebody goes to the toilet and you are thinking that you want to pay for the dinner and you have an agreement with this person that you will pay, you might say, should I pay? Should I go and pay now? You know, while they're in the toilet. I can think of that context, maybe. We paid in turns in a bar. You did rounds. One pays for the rest, then the other pays for the rest, and so on. So you pay for a round. This is called a round of drinks. The next round is on me. Like asking for a piece of advice. Almost like, I think it's more like asking permission, asking like, is it a good time to do this? Forensics, never before had I met. Never before had I can't comment on that, like, never before, yeah, have I met. Never before have I met. That's really sweet, forensics. Okay. Maybe you need to meet more English teachers. Okay, so on the condition that access is permitted, on condition that visitors wear protective equipment. These all express general rules and can replace if in a zero conditional. Now, what can't? Cannot normally express a zero conditional is should you. Okay? Should you require further assistance, please contact reception. I'm going to add Mr. Foster's example here with Guerrera's help. Should you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. No? Awesome. Yeah, exactly. So should you. Please feel free. This refers to a positive future situation, not a general truth. Were I to accept the offer, I would relocate abroad. Were I to accept the offer, I would relocate abroad. So this is equivalent to the second conditional, so this is not zero conditional. Had I known about the delay, I would have left earlier. This is the equivalent to the third conditional, so we can't use for zero. If it weren't for, example, if it weren't for modern technology, communication would be far more difficult. Yeah, if it weren't for TikTok or these apps, we wouldn't be able to have our international class. This expresses a hypothetical present situation. But for your assistance, the project would have failed. But for your assistance, the project would have failed. This is another form of the second or third conditional. Otherwise, so submit the application before Friday. Otherwise, it will not be considered. JC, had I known you were late, I could have had my lunch already. Very good. I'm starving. Had I known you were late, I could have had my lunch. Yeah, I could have had my lunch. I'm starving. Well done. Lovely. Really nice one. Had I known you were late. Yeah. So this expresses a consequence rather than a condition. And I love this one, supposing. Supposing or suppose. So suppose the company rejected your proposal. What would you do? These introduce hypothetical situations and are usually equivalent to the second conditional. Okay, so all of these that we mentioned just now can't use in the zero. So in summary, if you want to take a screenshot, guys, there's a nice little summary for you there. Can be used with zero conditional unless, provided that, as long as, on condition that. Cannot normally be used. Should, were, had, if it weren't for, but for, otherwise, supposing, suppose, in case. Okay? And the last point that we're going to see today, JC brought this up, is inversion in conditionals. So, should you require any assistance? Were the proposal to be rejected? Had they informed us earlier? If I were to ask you to marry me, would you agree? Just an example of second conditional. That's a really good example. That's a really good example. Just an example. If TikTok didn't exist, we wouldn't have met Cassia. Brilliant. Why don't we put these up? Like, yeah, you guys are so cute. If TikTok didn't exist, we wouldn't have met. We probably wouldn't have met Cassia. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it so crazy? I remember it was actually my mom who told me about TikTok for the first time. Okay, we wouldn't. She told me about TikTok for the first time, and I was like, God, I was like, I refuse to download this app on my phone because this is going to be a waste of time, etc., etc. I was the same with WhatsApp. I was the last person that I know to have WhatsApp. And now, look, TikTok is like my favorite thing ever. So it's funny how it goes. It's funny. Great examples, guys. Okay. Inversion in conditionals. Karen, you don't miss anything. You're really sharp. 11. So, inversion in conditionals. Should you require... I've read this. Conditional inversion, cannot be used with the zero conditional. So, JC has already said this. In fact, he said something I love. He said, let alone with inversions. I love this. So this is like what this is a really good expression, guys. I don't know if you saw what JC wrote in the chat, but it was really, really good. The math eye, that's what I'm thinking. The math eye plus the third eye. So yeah, that was a really good one. And I love that, guys. He said let alone. He said so they can't be used with second or third conditionals, let alone with inversions. So let alone is like definitely not with inversions. Okay. So conditional inversion is only used with first, second, and third conditionals because it expresses hypothetical or less direct situations. And the zero conditional is very, very direct, and it's not hypothetical at all. It's based on fact. For example, first conditional. If you should require any assistance, please contact reception. And this is Mr. Foster's example. He said, look, should you require any assistance, please contact reception. Should you have any questions? Should you need more information? That's the inversion. Second conditional, normal sentence. If the proposal were to be rejected, the company would reconsider its strategy. Inversion. Were the proposal to be rejected, the company would reconsider its strategy. Third conditional example, normal sentence. If they had informed us earlier, we could have avoided the delay. Inversion. Had they informed us earlier, we could have avoided the delay. So the zero conditional describes general truths, scientific facts, routines, instructions. These meanings do not take inversion. Really, really important. So correct. If water reaches, remember the word reaches, guys, because I think it comes up in the quiz. I'm sure it comes up in the quiz. If water reaches 100 degrees, it boils. If employees fail to comply with the regulations, they face disciplinary action, like yes or yes. Incorrect. Should water reach 100 degrees, it boils. Now, in this particular example for me, it doesn't actually sound that bad, but grammatically it's not correct. Were water to reach 100 degrees, yeah, it boils. It would boil. Hello, Hillman. Had water reached 100 degrees, it boils. Now, had water reached 100 degrees, you'd have to say it would have boiled. Okay? JC, customer service phrase, excuse to poor customer service. Should you have any questions, please contact us. Exactly. Excuse, no? Excuse for poor customer service. Yeah, you're speaking to these bots. My mom was complaining about bots the other day. I freaking hate bots. I hope you don't make them, Greta. But it's like I don't want to insult you. But these bots that answer the phone, oh, I would much prefer to speak to a human person. Have you any questions? Do not hesitate to ask. Is it correct? If you have any questions, I would say, Cassia. Have you any questions? If you have. Or should you have any questions? Should you have? No, we say should you have any questions, not have you have. Because have is like for sure situation. No, Cassia, should. Yeah, should is more. Thanks, JC. Awesome. Should you have any questions? Should or if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. Yeah. So the inverted forms express possibility or hypothesis, whereas the zero conditional expresses certainty. Also, yeah, have expresses certainty, so should, because maybe they won't have a question. It's like, should you have a question? For a possibility, rather than certainty, which is must and have. For that reason, conditional inversion is not used with the zero conditional, right? It's inevitable to add AI nowadays. Oh, God. Yeah. I love AI, but like it's mainly about how to do it. It's mainly about how you do it. Yeah, for sure. No, AI is great. But sometimes when you just want to be efficient with time, and it's like they don't give you the option to efficiently get onto a person, you know? In case you didn't get it, feel free to ask any questions. That's very informal, yeah. In case you didn't get it, feel free to ask any questions. You could say, in case you didn't get it, in case you didn't follow, yeah, feel free to send me an email as well. Hillman, I have a question. How about using a connector unless? Can we use all the types? Hillman, I think you just joined. We spoke about unless a few minutes ago. You can check the video on YouTube. Okay, hopefully by the end of this evening you can check. Yeah, you can use unless. Hey Nordic. You're awesome. Okay. Hello Hyro. If I say, should you require any help, let me know. Yes, good job. Let me know. Very good. Should you require any help? There's a zero conditional. Should you require any help? Let me know. Present simple, present simple. Require, let. Present simple, present simple. Yeah. Should you require any help? Let me know. No? Should you require any help? Let me know. Should you require any help? Don't hesitate to contact me. Yeah. I mean, does not have will in there. No, it doesn't. So it's a zero. Should you require any help? Please let me know. Zero, right, guys? Because should you require any help? If you require any help, it's not if you require help, let me know. Yeah, because it would be it's the first conditional because it's imperative, isn't it? You're using the if you require any help. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, you will let me know. It is, yes, because let me know is imperative. That's why. Yeah, no. No, it's the first conditional. It's true. It's the first condition. If you require any help, let me know. It will be the first but you're just, because you say let me know, it throws us off. It's the let me know if you need any help. If I am able to, if I will be, if you, I think it's the first. Yeah. Thank you, JC. It's the first because he's using imperative, right? With the let me know. Let me know is an invitation. So he's using that instead of will. Yeah. That's the thing. That's why that's tricky, because let me know is instead of using will. Did we come up with any examples using happen and happened, one and first and second conditional? I haven't seen one. Did somebody ask giving an example with happen? As in if you happen? Thank you, Hyro, and thank you, JC. They're good questions. Mr. Foster, what about happen and happened using first and second conditional? Like if I happened to win the lottery, I would buy a farm? Is that what you mean? For example, like this, if I happened to win the lottery, comma, I would buy a farm. Like that? If I happened to win, is that what you mean? I think that's what you mean, but otherwise I'm not sure. And when you said, did we come up with any examples? I feel like you asked me, maybe I missed the question. Okay, then this one, look, should water reach 100 degrees, it boils. Is grammatically possible. If we happen to get a pay rise, we'll buy a car. Yeah, if we happen to get a pay rise, we'll buy a car. First conditional. Yeah, that's more like if you really think it's going to happen. If we happen to get a pay rise, this is more like a possibility. It's more possible using the first than the second. Yeah. Imperative let me know is commonly used for thank you, JC. This is what I thought. Only my brain was a bit slow. Okay. Hyro, JC has put it there in the chat. Because imperative is let me know. This is the one you can use the imperative in the first conditional. Okay. This is why. Thank you. So, should water reach 100 degrees, it boils. Is grammatically possible, right? But it doesn't have the same meaning as the zero conditional because you're speaking about it like it's a possibility. So compare, if water reaches 100 degrees, it boils. This is a scientific fact. It's always true. Now compare, should water reach 100 degrees, it will boil. This means if in the event that water happens to reach 100 degrees, it will boil, you know. Now we're talking about a specific possible future situation, not a general truth. So it's not considered, when we say should, it's like maybe if this possibility happens, so it's not considered a zero conditional. Notice that the main clause changes. If water reaches 100 degrees, it boils, zero. Should water reach 100 degrees, yeah, it will boil is better. First conditional with inversion. So my sentence, should water reach 100 degrees, it boils. It doesn't sound too bad, but really it's mixing two systems. Should introduces a hypothetical future possibility. So we're out of the zero, okay? Because zero is not hypothetical. Maybe yes, maybe no. The zero is like, yes, this will happen. It boils states a general truth. So native speakers would almost always say, if water reaches 100 degrees, it boils, general truth. Should water reach 100 degrees, it will boil, specific future possibility. But even for me, when I was preparing this, I was like, it doesn't sound so bad. When I was saying to myself, this one, the thing, I said it and I was like, that doesn't sound bad, but there's something, sorry, it boils. This one is what I meant. I said this one to myself and I was like, it doesn't sound bad, but technically it's not correct. Hello, Jordan. I think even 90 degrees will be enough. Really? 90 degrees, maybe for a period of time. Really? Oh, specific future. Yes. You got it, JC? Okay, cool. So yeah, now we're talking about a specific future possibility situation, not a general truth. Notice that the main clause changes. I've read this. Okay. So Right. Should water reach 100 degrees, it boils, mixes two systems. Okay, let's go. So the issue isn't that should plus present is impossible. It's that should changes the meaning from always true to possible future event. Okay, this is the point here. This is why grammar books say that inversion is not used with the zero conditional. The moment you use should, you've left the zero conditional and entered the first conditional. Okay, even though it doesn't sound that bad, technically, you've left, once you say should, you've left zero conditional. Okay, now a note on inversion, right? This is me going down the rabbit hole of explaining things. Depending on the atmospheric pressure. Oh my god. You guys are really smart. Sometimes it's intimidating. You're freaking right. I remember hearing about this. Because isn't it true? If you take your water up a mountain and you want to make tea or something in Mount Kilimanjaro or whatever, it will boil faster, right? I remember hearing this. It's true. Smart pants here. Okay, a note on conditional inversion. Turn over my phone because my phone is flashing. Conditional inversion is not used with the zero conditional because the zero conditional expresses general truths and scientific facts, not future possibilities. So, and I have my example here that I've already gone through. These sentences describe facts that are always true. Now compare first conditional with inversion, future possibility. Should the temperature reach 0 degrees, the water will freeze. Should the temperature reach 0 degrees, the water will freeze. So you see, once we put in the should for the inversion, we're going to end up putting here the future simple instead of the present simple. So here we are no longer stating a general scientific fact. Instead, we are imagining a specific future situation. The use of should changes the meaning from always true to possible future. For this reason, we do not normally say, should the temperature reach 0 degrees, the water freezes. But I have to tell you, like, it doesn't sound, this particular sentence doesn't sound bad to me. But I experimented with it, and when I tried to start other sentences with should for the zero, it didn't work. So I think it's literally only this example sounds okay, but yeah, grammatically it's not right. This mixes the future possibility should with the general truth freezes. Native speakers almost always will use will freeze. Lies, but because the sentence now refers to a particular future event rather than a timeless fact. I like this one here, guys. A timeless fact. Okay? Remember, if plus present simple, comma, present simple, general truth, 0. Should plus subject plus bare infinitive, comma, will plus infinitive, future possibility, first conditional with inversion. Okay, cool. We're flying. Now we're on to our quiz. Okay? The part where I need to remember to calm down and scroll down slowly. So, not always 0 degrees is enough for freezing. Guerrero, you are speaking to me, and I'm reacting to George Sand. George Sand, are you an engineer or something that you have all this information about freezing and all this crack? Because you seem to have a pretty scientific background there. Not always 0 degrees is enough for freezing. Would that apply if you're an engineer, Clara? Okay, that explains a lot. So, could you give an example now about how, would that be near the coast or something? If it was 0 degrees, it still wouldn't freeze because of the pressure or what? I need an example. Or if you're in some type of like, it's going to say hyperbolic chamber or something like this, that the laws of physics don't apply. I can't think of an example with that. With the boiling, I knew because I know that it's if you go up a mountain. But with this one, I'm not sure. Okay, 15 question multiple choice quiz. So, number 1. Can you see? You can. If employees, the company's safety procedures, workplace accidents become less frequent. Observation. The water freezes means two. One only body of water, whereas water freezes is a. You're speaking about this one, is it, JC? Or you're speaking about what George Sand said? Observation. The water freezes means, yeah, if it's if you're speaking about a specific body of water that you identified before and the listener knows which body of water you're talking about. And if you say just water, it's just water in general, any water. Okay? Mr. Foster, you got it. Well done. Guerrero, you got it. Cassia, you got it. Good job, guys. Well done. If employees follow, Hyro, good job. If employees follow the company's safety procedures, workplace accidents become less frequent. Zero conditional. Super duper. Right? B. The sentence expresses a general truth, so both verbs are in the present simple. Nice, guys. Number 2. Which sentence is a zero conditional? Number A, letter A. If the proposal is approved, we'll begin immediately. B, if the proposal were approved, we would begin immediately. C, if the proposal satisfies the criteria, it receives immediate approval. D, if the proposal had satisfied the criteria, it would have received funding. Mr. Foster, Guerrera, Cassia, Jairo, JC, you got it. Well done, guys. Good job, C. We have there satisfies and receives. Yeah, well done. Hi, good job, Amel. Hi. Well done. Yeah, C. Number 3, let me put this down. Which sentence is incorrect? So which sentence is incorrect? Okay. A, unless researchers collect insufficient evidence, the results remain inconclusive. B, provided that participants follow the instructions, the experiment succeeds. C, in case participants follow the instructions, the experiment succeeds. And D, as long as the equipment functions correctly, the measurements remain accurate. So which one is not correct? I can give you a clue. I mentioned to you there's one of these replacements for if that we cannot use in the first condition. Null. This is your clue, guys. I told you that there was one of these that we can't use in the first conditional. Do you remember which one it was? Yes! Stephanie, good job. Jairo, good job. Well done. It was C. We can't use in case. Good job, JC. We can't use in case. Yeah, Mr. Foster, you got it. Exactly. We can't use in case, guys. That's the one we can't use. Okay? It was C. So why? In case expresses a precaution, not a general truth. Okay, so in case expresses a precaution. So in case participants follow instructions. So it doesn't make sense because in case is for future possibilities, like take an umbrella in case it rains, for example. Okay, that was a tricky one, wasn't it? That was tricky. It's true. Number 4, the software functions correctly. Users install the latest updates. So the software functions correctly. Users install the latest updates. JC, don't pick the phone in case it could be your ex harassing you again. Cassie, almost JC. JC, the phrasal verb, right? I'm not going to tell you directly because I think you're going to know this one. The phrasal verb, you can't just say pick. You need to use a phrasal verb there. Coger el teléfono. You have to say, don't pick the phone. Good job. Well done, JC. You got it. Nice. Don't pick up the phone in case it could be your ex harassing you again. Exactly. Mr. Foster, you got it. Jairo, you got it. Guerrero, you got it. Well done. Cassia, you got it. Good job. Well done. Good job, Amel. Well done. Ilse, good job. It's C. As long as. Get it, I know. Tricky rhymes with Vikki. BTW. Nice. I knew that one. Yeah, I knew that one. Tricky Vikki. And also, we had a dog that my mom used to call Tricky Woo, which was quite cute. Tricky Woo. Yeah, Tricky Vikki. I told her the story about the PRICK the other day, and that you guys mentioned that it was Patrick, and I told her, and she said your brother's name is Patrick, and I mentioned yes. Okay. So, good job, Aster. Well done. It was C, as long as. So the software functions correctly as long as users install the latest updates. Brilliant, guys. Next one. 5. Which, oh no. I didn't show the answer, did I? Oh no. Did I? Did I show the answer? Oh no. No, I didn't. It's not D. Cassia, thank you. Show me your palm. Lynn, you already saw it. Oh no. It always happens at least once or twice. Anyway, look. Which sentence expresses a general truth? You did for an attentive beholder. Nice destiny line. You tricked me into it, JC. Oh. I was speaking to someone today about my destiny line. I went to see. I was taken to see. I didn't. You tricked me into it. You are very tricky. But you're not tricky, Vikki. So I was taken to a witch many years ago, a very famous witch, okay? And she read my palm and she said to me, oh, you have many, many lines and many of them are very deep. And this means you are a very old soul. This is what she said. I don't know if it's true or not. So, if employees fail to comply with safety regulations, they face disciplinary action. B, if employees failed to comply with safety regulations, they would face disciplinary action. If employees had failed to comply with safety regulations, they would have faced disciplinary action. And should employees fail to comply with safety regulations, they will face disciplinary action. Who got it right? We're looking for the zero conditional, guys, because it's a general truth. Amel, you got it. Cassia, you got it. Oh, Aster, you got it. Hello, Joaquin. Jairo, you got it. Amel, you got it. You're sure? Not my first time on this earth. I've come back. Why? Yeah, it's interesting. Get it? Now I'm freaking out. Like, which one is the destiny line? Or were you joking? Or you actually saw? I hope nobody took a freaking photo. Don't, if you know what my destiny is, please don't tell me what it is. I don't want to know. Apart from what this witch told me, some of the things that she said came true, but I wouldn't like to know. They don't get it. They saw it. Oh my god. A, because it's present tense. Exactly, Lynn. Well done. You found the third, George San. Good job. Well done. Okay. All right. So, yeah, it was A. Well done. The zero condition expresses general truth. Okay. Number 6. Scroll down. Which expression cannot normally introduce a zero conditional? Thank you, Aster. I think, honestly, being in Ireland, it's and the window is right there. I think it brings them out. Awesome, guys. George Sand, you got it. Jairo, you got it. Anak, you got it. Cassia, well done. George Sand, good job. Yes, I'm Irish. Aster. Guerrera, the line that comes out under the middle finger. So it would be like I don't know. So it would be the one that goes like this, is it? It looks good. I don't have a clue, but it looks good. I'm happy with this. I don't need to know anything else. That's no. That's the love one. Which one? The middle finger is this one, no? So the line that goes this way, no? That's the one. Too dangerous to consult with a witch. Miguel, enjoy 22 degrees. Thank you so much. It goes down. I can kind of see it on my left hand. Oh, I'm freaking out about this now. I can't see. Do you know it goes down? I think like this one, no? This one that goes down there. Okay. Well, you said nice destiny line, so I'm going to take it as a good thing. Do you know Indonesia or Bali? This Christmas, I was in Vietnam and the Philippines. And the year before, I was in Thailand and Malaysia. But I haven't been to Indonesia or Bali yet, Aster. Not yet. I would like to go. Now, yes, you go. Okay, get it. Cool. JC, and if it has some other lines coming out of it, it means long lasting. Really? Okay, awesome. I'm going to stick with the positive stuff. I'm going to remember all the positive stuff. Lynn, soon I hope so. Yeah? Malaysia mentioned. Okay. Yes, I did mention Nukwa. I was in Malaysia. We were in Kuala Lumpur. Yeah. It's really cool. Not long enough, but we were there. For New Year's, 2 years ago. Okay, awesome. C. So in case you guys got that right. Apa kabar. This means something like you are welcome. Okay, number 7. If consumers lose confidence in the economy, businesses often investment. What do you guys think? If consumers lose confidence in the economy, businesses often investment. Good job. Jairo, Yuka, hello. Ruben, yeah. Miss, good job. Askan, Anak, good job. Lynn, good job. Cassia, well done. Good job, well done. It's A. You were the first, Ruben, well done. I knew I missed somebody because the answers came up really quick. There you are, Ruben. Yeah, good job. Well done, Ruben. Super. Okay. Awesome. Number 8. So which sentence uses provided that correctly? Students receive a certificate provided that they complete all the required assessments. B, students receive a certificate provided that they will complete all the required assessments. C, students receive a certificate provided completing all the required assessments. And D, students receive a certificate provided to complete all the required assessments. Lynn, what time is it here? It is 4:30, Lynn. 4:30. Mr. Foster, Anak, Askan Bey, Miguel, Jairo, Amel. Awesome, guys. JC, you got it. It's A. Well done. That's it. Next one. 1 second. Answer A. Okay. Yeah, and I put an explanation there, but we don't need this one. Oh my God. Which sentence is not a zero conditional? It was C. Should temperatures fall below 0, the water will freeze. Okay, so no will. Okay, moving on. Number 10. We skip this one. Which sentence contains a mixed conditional? Hey, look, this is for you. Okay? Right, this is for you. Which conditional contains a mixed conditional followed by a zero conditional? Right? We saw Amelia, you saw, I know. God, it brings me back to college when cheating a test. I know. And I know all of you guys would scream if you were here in front of me. Guerrera, this is for you. If she studies harder, she'll pass the exam. If if she studies harder, she'll pass the exam. B, if you hadn't ignored the warning, you wouldn't be injured now because machinery causes serious injuries if people use it improperly. C, if you studied harder, you would pass the exam. And D, if you had studied harder, you would have passed the exam. Good job, guys. Amel, Askin B. Jairo, Miss, good job, Miguel. Guerrera, yeah, you got it. That's why. This is why. Mr. Foster, you got it. Well done. Super duper. Okay, guys, I can hear my mom pottering around outside. So I've got 5 more questions, but I'm going to have to drive on from these. I had 5 more, but we'll just fast forward this. I had more than 5. My goodness. Yeah, I had a lot more. Anyway, I want to show you these, right? So, C1, writing examples. The zero conditional. The zero conditional is particularly common in essays, reports, proposals, and formal emails because it allows you to express general truths, established facts, rules and cause-effect relationships in a concise and objective way. So, an essay, for example. Imagine this is the title of your essay. Some people believe that environmental education should be compulsory in all schools. To what extent do you agree? Okay, and I put here an example. Look, many experts argue that environmental education should begin at an early age. Zero conditional. If children develop sustainable habits while they're young, they are far more likely to adopt environmentally responsible behavior as adults. Okay? Do you get it, guys? So like here you can see that zero conditional is not just like something for English guys who are baby English learners, you know? Like here you can see an example of a really, really advanced sentence in a C1 level essay. You got it, JC? Awesome. Okay? So it's really relevant. It's not just in your essay you're speaking, you're going to put third conditional or mixed conditional, you know? The zero conditional definitely has a place in advanced writing. And then a report. So imagine you need to write a report. You work for a company that wants to improve employee well-being. Write a report evaluating current working practices and recommending possible improvements. Okay? The data indicate a clear relationship between employee well-being and productivity. If organizations provide flexible working arrangements, staff often report higher levels of job satisfaction. Furthermore, unless employees receive appropriate training, workplace efficiency tends to decline over time. All right? Yeah. So I wanted to give you some examples of that there so you could see how it fits in nicely in an advanced one. Oops. It really annoys me when when part of the sentence gets highlighted that I don't want highlighted. Okay, proposal. If you're writing a proposal, for example, your manager asked you to write a proposal suggesting ways to improve customer satisfaction. We were speaking about customer satisfaction. To improve customer satisfaction, several measures could be introduced, provided that all members of staff follow the revised customer service procedures. Response times remain consistent. In addition, as long as complaints are addressed promptly, customer confidence usually increases. Okay? The essay sounds like your speaking exercises. Yeah, it does. It does sound like the speaking exercises. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Foster, I haven't forgot. I've got it written down there. I've got it written down just for the story. I hope I'll have time to tell you at the end. Okay. So then, formal email. So you are responsible for laboratory safety. Write an email to new staff explaining the most important safety procedures before they begin work. You could say, please remember that access to the laboratory is subject to strict safety regulations. Unless visitors wear the required protective equipment, they are not permitted to enter the research facility. As long as everyone complies with these procedures, the laboratory operates safely and efficiently. Hey James, do you know the English teacher from Glasgow? I don't actually follow a lot of English teachers on here because I don't. Who is the English teacher from Glasgow? I don't know who he is. Yeah. So the zero conditional is an excellent way to support your arguments in formal writing because it presents your ideas as general truths or widely accepted principles rather than personal opinions. Using structures such as unless, provided that, and as long as also demonstrates a wider grammatical range, which is rewarded in the C1 paper. Okay? Awesome. Okay. So, guys, we better start wrapping up now. I did prepare a speaking in case anybody would like to practice their speaking. So, and then if not, I can tell you my funny story. The questions today were, yeah, they're kind of like the writing actually. Scientific discoveries often depend on following strict procedures. Why do you think rules are so important hello Emma, in scientific research? You prefer a funny story? Okay, I'll tell you the funny story. What happened? I maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago, KSI sisters. Don't know what that is, Vijal. Maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, 4.5 years ago, I bought a house. Okay. And the house I bought, like, it had no furniture and the electricity was turned off and stuff, and the water and all this. So I needed to do some work on the house before I could move into the house. So a friend of a friend, an empty house, totally empty house, yeah, not even a ghost. So a friend of a friend recommended a plumber. So I thought, okay, so I got this plumber, and this plumber came to my house, and yeah, we were talking and chatting and whatever. He was Spanish, right? And he told me that his grandfather was Irish. His grandfather was Irish. His grandfather's name was, not even a ghost, you got it. His grandfather's name was Inocente. So Inocente, Inocente, Inocente in Spanish means in English innocent. So it means not guilty. But in this case, Guerrera, it was not guilty. Okay, not guilty is important. So, the place where I live in Spain was, now everybody's going to know where I live. The place where I live in Spain was kind of colonized in a way by the English. I realized that this is ironic, okay? It was colonized by the English. So when the English came to this place, they were working in this place and so on. The Irish, because they were at the time fighting with the English, an Irish assassin came from Ireland to this place in Spain to kill some English managers. Same old story. So this Irish guy murdered an English general in Spain. Okay, so it's to do with the war against England and Ireland. The Irish guy came to Spain to kill the English guy, and he killed him. Okay, you thought the same, endless rivalry. So he killed him. So what happened? Obviously, the English were very angry, and the English came searching for the man who murdered them, and they murdered the Irishman. But the Irishman had a son, right? A young son. And the English were also going to kill the son. But all of the Spanish people in the area, they started shouting, Él es inocente. He is innocent. He is innocent. Right? That it was his father who murdered the English guy, not the son. Finally, the son survived, but they called him after this. His name became Inocente. and he was the grandfather of my plumber. And my plumber said to me that when he hears Spanish music, he doesn't feel anything. And he grew up all his life in Spain, speaking Spanish. He doesn't even speak English or Irish. But he grew up in Spain. But when he hears Irish music, he gets emotional, he said. So I don't know if it's in our genes or whatever, our ancestry or something. And he had like red hair, not a lot of hair, but he had red hair. And he loved Guinness, and he loved fighting. So yeah, which are two typical Irish things. No, they say that Irish people love beer and fighting. We are good at fighting. So yeah, so that's the story about my plumber and the Inocente, his grandfather. Well, funny, I don't know, but I thought it was a crazy story. Yeah. Georgian, Spain versus Argentina. Who will be the winner? That is my question. Well, I mean, I'm living in Spain, so, maybe I will support Spain on Sunday. Spain, I hope. Livia, you hope Spain. Wow, Mr. Foster, you like the story? It's a crazy story, isn't it? Yeah, Emma. Listening practice for you, but it's totally crazy story, isn't it? JC, you still listen to the Dubliners. That's awesome. Yeah, they're cool. It's nice. Baby Vikki, don't break my heart. Sorry, Guerrero, no, I've got my Spanish flag here. I've got the Spanish flag here. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. We have the Spanish flag. We will on Sunday take the Spanish flag to the pub to watch the match. Don't worry. I forgot my jersey, but we have the Spanish flag. JC, oh, that's cool. I'm glad you like the story. Amel, we all support Spain, yeah? Anybody here from Argentina? The Boondocks Saints is a great movie. I don't know this one. Spain for World Cup 2026, yeah? Jurist, yeah? I dare telling stories more than story stuff. Yeah, the Irish people we are famous for telling stories. Yeah, you're from Sudan, Baimo. Because we had nothing to do here. Very poor country, no electricity, not good infrastructure, and it's dark, no good weather. So we are inside telling stories to pass the time. Rulebox collector, you're Irish, yeah? That's awesome. Guys, we have some more Irish people in the chat. That's so cool. JC, if you watch it, you will love it. Yeah? With two Irish boys, yeah? Let me write this down. Hang on. The Boondocks. Guys, if you'd like to watch a movie, an Irish movie, JC is just recommending this, so I'm going to write it down. Boondocks. I'm going to check. Because Ines recommended a movie 2 weeks ago, and I found it. I watched it on Amazon Prime. It was really good. So I will watch it. If you watch it, I will watch it. The winner will also take the Ballon d'Oro. Yeah, they will. You're from Azerbaijan, Rovsen. That's so cool. Hi. Hema, reporting passive. Okay. Awesome, guys. And for music, the Celtic Woman, the Hills of Ireland. Yeah, totally. Awesome. Totally. Due to the fact you're in Ireland now, TikTok gives you so many Irish guys presently. Yeah, maybe that's why. Because I'm in Ireland, Mr. Foster, maybe. Maybe that's why there are more Irish people. Yeah, maybe. Hey, Mary. It's said that Irish people tell a lot of scary stories. Well, I don't know about scary stories, but I'm not sure about scary stories. Let me think. Ghost stories. But when I was a kid, I did like to know ghost stories. Hey? Let me see. I have no name for this person. The flower, the lotus flower. Colombia. You're from Colombia. Yeah? That's awesome. I just get a sense of Guinness in your mouth. Guinness. Can you tell us one, please? Tell the one of the giants. The one about the giants. The giants going across to Scotland, is it? What is the best way to pass from B1 to B2 and C1 to C2? Hello, Ashley. Ashley, join our class. We have class every day at random times. Hematoma. They invented Halloween. Thank you, Mr. Foster. It's true. Colombia makes Ukraine stronger. Okay. That one. All right, guys. If you'd like to hear a ghost story, okay, I can add this. Okay. I'm going to get a ghost story, an Irish ghost story for you, okay? We can have ghost story day. And I will tell the one about the giants as well if you're interested at the end of class, so that if anybody doesn't want to listen to it, they can go. I will. That's a really good story. I'm going to, if you like it, and I guess it works as a listening as well. I'm going to find a ghost story, okay, an Irish ghost story, and I'm going to brush up on some other ones. The one about the two giants, that's a good one. Cuchulainn as well, I can tell you. Okay, awesome, guys. So I gotta go. Okay, I gotta go and spend some time with the fam while I'm here. We can read the story together, yeah! A reading class, we can do it. We can do it. I get some good put some good vocabulary inside as well. So I will. Okay? Oh my god. What happened on the screen? Oh yeah, something came on the screen. All right, guys. So I love you and leave you.